One of the type of conic section is hyperbola. Hyperbola is a set of all x and y in a plane such that the absolute value of the difference of the distances from two distinct fixed points called constant or foci. Okay po? So, hyperbola, difference of distances, opposite one to the ellipse. Kay ellipse po kasi is sum of the distances. Transverse axis is a line segment that passes through the center of the hyperbola and has vertices as its endpoint. The conjugate axis is perpendicular to the transverse axis and has the co-vertices as its endpoint. The center of the hyperbola is the midpoint of both the transverse and conjugate axis where they intersect. Or same with the ellipse kung saan po magmi-meet yung dalawang co-vertices, vertices, and foci. We have this formula, x minus h, quantity squared over a squared, minus quantity y minus k squared over b squared is equals to 1. So we use this formula if our hyperbola looks like this one. Our transverse po is in x-axis. And then y minus k, quantity squared over a squared minus x minus h, quantity squared over b squared is equals to a if our transverse in vertical form. As you can see, hindi nagkapalit ang posisyon ng x minus h at saka y minus k. Unlike kay ellipse, ang nagpapalit lang po, ang nag-interchange lang po is the a and b. It depends kung nasaan po ang transverse axis. So this one, ang transverse axis natin ay naka-horizontal, so under x po si a. Sa pangalawa naman po, naka-vertical, so under y po ang a. What I mean is, ang nag-i-interchange is si x at saka si y. Si a and si b, fixed na po sila, dyan na po iyan sa, hindi na po sila nagkakapalit. Unlike kay ellipse, si a and si b ang nagpapalit. So kay hyperbola, hindi po magpapalit si a and si b. Yung sa numerator lang po. Opposite si hyperbola kay ellipse kasi po, as you can see, ang operation natin na gagamitin is difference. Kay ellipse po ay addition. Okay po, let's have an example. Example number 1. If our vertices at positive, negative 6, positive, negative 6, so 6x, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then our vertex is here, so meaning our hyperbola look like this one. And then kung saan sila magmi-meet, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, dito po sila nag-meet sa origin, meaning ang ating center po is at 0, 0. So, center natin is, the coordinates of our center is 0, 0. And then, so we have our A. Our A is 12 steps po yan, divide 2 is 6. Then a squared natin is 36. And then our C is, or our foci, we all know, as in my previous discussion, I told you that C is the foci and then B is the covertices. So, hindi po given si covertices. Our foci is positive or negative 2 square root of 10. Okay po. And the given po si A, given din po si B, si C. So we can get the value of our B by the formula B squared is equals to C squared minus A. Okay po. So, B squared po natin wala pa po tayong b squared, and then our c squared, which is, our c squared is 2 square root of 10 squared minus our a squared, which is 36. So we have b squared is equals to squared times 2, 4. Square root of 10 squared is 10 minus 36 equal to 4 times 10, we have 40. And then minus 36, so b squared po natin is 4. Okay po, so we have our b squared already, so we can have now our standard form of the hyperbola, vertices at positive, negative 6, and then our foci at positive, negative 2, square root of 10. Okay po, so formula, x minus h quantity squared plus y minus k quantity squared over, saan ang transverse natin? So, ang form po ng ating hyperbola kanina ay nakaganyan po, meaning our a is under x. So, a squared, b squared. I mean subtraction, because addition is in ellipse. Equal to 1. H and K is the coordinate of the center. Our H is 0. Our K is 0 as well. Equal to 1. Our A squared is 36. Our B squared is 4. X minus 0 quantity squared, it can be x squared over 36 minus y minus 0 quantity squared, it will become y squared over 4 minus 1. So this is the standard form of the hyperbola and example number 1. So now let's proceed with example number 2. Vertices at 0, negative 2. 0 is our x, negative 2 is our y, so found here. 0, negative 2. And then the second vertex is positive 6. Our x is positive 6. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then negative 2 is our y. So our hyperbola looks like this one. Okay po. So let's count the steps po wherein saan sila mag-meet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 steps for vertex 1 to reach on vertex 2. 6 divided by 2, we have 3. So a squared po natin is 9. Okay po, 3 steps daw po. 1, 2, 3. So here po, tapat po dito. Dito po sila nag-meet. So these coordinates 1, 2, 3. 3 ang x, negative 2 ang y. So meaning the center po natin is positive 3, negative 2. Okay po. Now, let's find po our b squared. So we have our c squared. So foci po natin is negative 2, positive 2. So negative 2 ang ating x, 1, 2, and then negative 2 as well. Okay po. Next po is positive 8, 1, 2, and then negative 2. So foci 1, foci 2. Let's count the steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10 steps for foci 1 to reach to foci 2. So 10 divided 2, we have 5. 5 squared is 25. And that way we can solve the b squared. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay? So b squared is equal to c squared minus a squared. We use that formula to obtain or to get the value of our b squared. Okay, b squared is equals to our c squared is 25. Our a squared is 9. B squared is equals to 25 minus 9. We have 16. So using the standard form, x minus h quantity squared minus y minus k quantity squared over a squared over b squared is equals to 1. So we use this standard form again. It is because our transverse axis found in the is in horizontal form or under the x po. Okay, so our h, so center, h and k. Our h is 3, quantity squared. Our a squared is 9 minus y. Our k is negative 2 over our b squared is 16 equal to 1. Final answer, x minus 3 quantity squared over 9 minus negative, so it will become positive. Y plus 2 quantity squared over 16 equal to 1. So that's our standard form of the hyperbola and example number 2. Next po, example number 3, vertices at negative 2, and negative 3. Our vertex 1 is negative 2 ang x, negative 3 din po yung y. So this is the vertex 1, and then vertex 2 po natin is negative 6, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then negative 3. So standard, ang ating pong hyperbola is naka-horizontal na naman po ang kanyang transverse. So from here, 1, negative 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 steps po ang binilang ni vertex 1 to be in vertex 2. So 4 divide 2, we can have 2. Okay, a squared is 4. So the center first, since 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay po. So dalawa, ang ating center is here. So the center of our parabola is here. The coordinates would be, saan po siya tapat? 1, 2, 3, 4, negative 4. And then ang ating y naman po is negative 3. So negative 4, negative 3. Our C or our foci at negative 1, 3. So here, foci 1. And then foci 2, negative 7, 3. From here, from foci 1, how many steps am I going to make para po ma-reach ko si focus 2? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 steps divide 2. I have 3. Then C squared is 9. Again, from focus 1 here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So to get the value of b squared is, or the covertices, is equal to c squared minus a squared. Our c squared is 9 minus our a is 4, meaning our b squared is 5. Okay po. Formula po natin is, since po ay naka-horizontal yan, x minus h quantity squared over a squared minus y minus k quantity squared over b squared is equals to 1. This is our h, this is our k. X minus h, which is negative 4, quantity squared over a, which is 4, minus y minus our k is negative 3, quantity squared over our b squared, which is 5. X minus negative 4, it will become x plus 4. Since negative, negative, negative times negative, positive. Over 4 minus y plus 3 equal to over 5 equal to 1. Okay po, so that's the standard form of our example number 3. Standard form of a hyperbola. Example number 4, vertices at 0, negative, and positive 3. 0 ang x, meron tayong y. Okay? Positive 3, negative 3. Vertex 1, vertex 2. Okay po, meaning ang ating hyperbola looks like this one. Since naka-vertical, so we use the y minus k quantity squared over a squared. Since hindi nga po magkakabaliktad, ang sa numerator lang, x minus h quantity squared over b squared is equals to 1. So let's find the center first. From here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So ang ating vertex 1, nag-count ng 6 steps para po ma-reach ang vertex 2. Divide 2 is 3. So a squared po natin is 9. So 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Meaning our center is at the origin, which is 0, 0. Next, our C or our foci. Foci is positive and negative 5, 0, and positive, negative 5. Foci 2, foci 1. Okay? So 0 ang x, positive 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So nandito ang foci 1. 0 ang x, negative 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So nandito ang foci 2. So from foci 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 steps to be at foci 2. Divide 2 is 5. C squared is 25. Or 5 squared, 5 times 5 is 25. So use the formula. B squared is equals to C squared is 25. A squared is 9. 25 minus 9, we have 16. Our b squared is 16. Using the formula, okay, our y, our k, our h is 0, our k is 0 as well. Quantity squared over a is 9 minus x minus 0, quantity squared over our b is 16 equal to 1. So y minus 0 squared is y squared over 9 minus x minus 0 squared, quantity squared, x squared over 16 equal to 1. So that's it. That's the answer of our example number 4, vertices at 0, positive, negative 3, and foci at 0, positive, negative. So what if the given would be in the standard form? So you have to find the coordinates of vertices, co-vertices, foci, and center of the hyperbola. Oh, let's have an example. Example number 1. Y squared over 64 minus x squared over 36 is equals to 1. In our previous examples, if we encounter this one, meaning our center found at the origin or the coordinates would be 0, 0. Our a squared, kung saan po ang mas malaki, yun po yung a squared, yung greater number. So 64, a squared is 64. Square root of 64 is 8. Of course, yung maliit would be the covertex, which is the b squared. B squared is 36, meaning the square root of 36 is 6. Origin is at the 0, 0. And then we have to find the value of our c squared or the foci. So we use the equation b squared is equals to c squared minus a squared. B squared is 36 equal to c squared. A squared natin is 64. And then combined like terms, transpose positive 64 plus 36 equal to c squared. 64 plus 36, we have 100. And then square root of 100 is 10. So our c is 10. And that we can form we can complete the coordinates. Okay po? Since po ang a squared natin is under a, meaning po ang may value po is the y na more than 0. Since under y siya, meaning si 8 is in y. So 0, positive 8, and 0, negative 8. No need to graph. Okay po? So, co-vertices naman po natin, since po ay under x po siya, meaning ang may more than 0 lang po na value is the x. Okay? So, under x po iyan. So, ang b squared na 6, ang b na 6 is in the x. Then, negative 6, 0. And then, our foci, we all know that foci is in front of the vertex. Kung si vertex ay nasa y, meaning ang ating foci din po ay nasa y. So 0, 10, and 0, negative 10. So this is our coordinates, our center at the origin, 0, 0, our vertices at 0, 8, 0, negative 8, co-vertices 6, 0, negative 6, 0, and then our foci at 0, 10, 0, negative 10. Example number 2. Example number 2, x minus 2, quantity squared over 36 minus y minus plus 5, quantity squared over 81 is equals to 1. First is the center. X minus 2, it will become x positive 2. So our x is 2 or our h. Y plus y, 5. So y is equals to negative 5. So negative 5. Graph po natin. Unlike in example number 1, this one is need to be graphed para po makita po natin. Okay? So 2, negative 5, positive 2, negative 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, this is the center. Our A, saan ang mas malaki dyan? Si 81. Meaning, naka Y axis, nasa kay Y axis po yung greater number. Okay po, A squared is equals to 81. A square root of 81 is 9. So 9 steps po from here. So akyat po tayo and baba kasi po ay naka-vertical or nasa Y. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So, nandito po ang ating vertex 1. So, anong coordinates po yan? Positive 2 ang x, 1, 2, 3, 4. Positive 4 naman po ang ating y. So, vertex 1 is positive 2, positive 4. And our vertex 2 from here naman po, baba ka din po ng 9. Umakyat ka ng 9, baba ka din ng 9. So, ito yung center, baba po ng 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So, ang dami. So, this is the vertex 2. Again, count po natin from here. Ito yung tapat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bilangin natin lahat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Negative 14. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So from 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. From here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So negative 14 nga po. Yeah, so positive 2, nakatapat kay positive 2 at negative 14 si vertex number 2. And then our covertices is 36. Square root of 36 is 6. And that we can get naman po the value of our foci or our C. B squared is equals to 30. B squared equal to C squared minus A squared. Nakalimutan na si formula. Okay. B squared is 36. C squared is the missing 1. A squared is 81. Transpose po natin. 81 plus 36 equal to C squared. Okay. 81 plus 36, we have 117. Okay, 117 is our C squared and then square root po natin yan. Or our C is in square root of 117. Okay po. So we have our, oh not yet, we don't have our the coordinates of our covertices. Covertices is a 6 steps from here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So from the center, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is the covertex 1, CV1. Then from here, 6 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is tapat lang po So covertex 2. Our covertex 2 is 1, 2, 3, 4, negative 4, and then negative 5. Our covertex 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So positive 8, negative 5. So that's it. We have our coordinates of our center, which is 2, negative 5. Vertex 1, 2, 4. Vertex 2, 2, negative 14. Covertices, covertex 1, 8, negative 5, and negative 4, negative 5, with our C at square root of 117. That's it. Thank you.